I think I'd best give you a few pieces of advice, as I am here at Walworth thinking about your predicament with Estella and your future as a gentleman. You are the type of person who sets their mind on a goal and will not stop until they have achieved it. I respect your perseverance, but I am begging you to take a step back and reassess whether your goal is worth sacrificing your happiness. Have you realized Miss Havisham is merely playing you like a pawn in a fierce game of chess? Every time you make one move closer, the queen and her princess take 10 steps back, with you trailing behind. And yet you are still willing to follow in Estella's footsteps and keep trying to make her realize you are better than the fools courting her. You are better than all the imbeciles she is dating, and she realizes this as well. Your unrequited love will never surmount her need to crush men's heart, for this is a curse she has been brought up with from her earliest days with Miss Havisham. The reason she chose Bentley Drummle is because she recognized he is an apathetic gentleman who can be crushed easily. Please do yourself a favor and no longer pursue Estella. There is no good that can come of seeing her again. Also, once you have read this letter and memorized its contents, throw it in the fire. I cannot have anyone from anywhere finding news of Compeyson, for this is a well-kept secret. My friends at Newgate forewarned me about his arrival, and I cannot risk breaking the trust I have with the prisoners there. You must try your best to let go of the past and move head-on into the future. Put your best foot forward and treat others with respect too. Remember, every person is worthy of becoming a gentleman or lady, just as you rose from the mist of the graveyard and have become a wise gentleman. I wish you the best of luck in all of your affairs. Your best interest always, Wemmick.
This is the letter that Compeyson sent on his and Miss Havisham's wedding day, ending their relationship. After receiving this letter, Miss Havisham realizes that she has been played for a fool. She has fallen for a common swindler, a man with dark intentions whose ultimate plan was to take her money. Desperate to stop Compeyson, Miss Havisham gathers her thoughts and that night writes a frantic letter to her close childhood friend, Jaggers. She knows that he's an expert in this field and will do everything in his power to help her. After all, Jaggers was not always as successful as he is now. When he was just starting out in New Britain as a lawyer, one of his cases went sour, and if it weren't for Miss Havisham's loan, he would have been sent to jail. He has been forever in her debt and will do anything to help her. Upon receiving this letter from Miss Havisham, Jaggers forms a plan. Naturally, he would do everything in his power to help the poor woman. However, not only would he help her find Compeyson, he would bring Miss Havisham a new joy, a daughter. One of his clients, Molly, had left an infant in his care, and as she was unable to provide for her, Jaggers was ill-equipped to raise a child and thought it best to send it to Miss Havisham.
Pip has just left in a fury. I'm afraid I may have wreaked irreparable havoc. The above sentence may be surprising, for I am not one to typically show regard for feelings other than my own, nonetheless take note on the impact of my actions. This, however, was certainly no typical situation. Since the day I first summoned Pip to my house so many years ago, my plan has been to break his little heart. Why should anyone have love if it's not within my reach? Why am I any less deserving of affection than those around me? When Pip arrived earlier today, I knew from the moment he walked in that something was different. The boy claimed to have discovered his true benefactor. Why should this be at all surprising to me? I have known all along that the man was just another one of Jagger's filthy clients. Nonetheless, Pip glanced at me as he said this, and I began to see the heartbreak contained within him. The boy continued babbling at us quite quickly. When Pip accused me of misguiding him and causing him to believe me as his benefactress, I shut him up quite well. Sure, I let you go on, I told him, with which he simply retorted, "Was that kind?" One may have thought by now that Pip would be slightly smarter for a man of more than 20. I have seen him grow up all this time, yet he remains so blind in so many things. Who am I to be kind? When those around you have given you nothing in the way of kindness, but instead remove and destroy everything you have ever loved, kindness is owed to no one. Aside from attempts at nicety, sprouting from ulterior motives, of course, none of my family has ever showed me true kindness. All they want is my money. It is when Pip began to profess his true love for Estella that I began to soften a little. This may be as equally surprising as the first sentence, for it has been my lifelong quest to crush the hearts of all men around me. It is in this way that I sought to have revenge on old Compeyson. It is for this very reason that I adopted my lovely Estella. The revenge I have so long been seeking is quite different, however, when the heart that's being broken is 2 feet from your chair. After requesting money for his dear friend Herbert, Pip turned to Estella and poured out his heart. When he came close to calling me cruel for taking advantage of him, I, for once, was touched. Was what he claimed to be true, in fact, true? Perhaps I had not realized the gravity of the situation. Estella looked at Pip and claimed to have nothing but empty space beneath her chest. She claimed that she was incapable of love because I had brought her up in the absence of love. The words of love Pip said were simply words, nothing more. Estella went on to tell myself and Pip that she and Bentley Drummle were soon to be married. It clearly gave Pip great agony to hear these words, and I assure you I suffered as well. The image of that brute drudging Estella down the aisle and accompanying her all the rest of her life was too much for the both of us to bear. It is then that I realized that the revenge I had so long been seeking was more harmful and cruel than I could have ever imagined. Just as Pip had claimed, I had lost sight of his trial in the pursuit of my own. It is because of this horrible destiny, one that was made apparent so few hours ago, that I write of my troubles, that I write of Pip's troubles. I plan to summon the boy when adequate time has passed and do my best to express my burgeoning regret for his situation. My words shall, of course, be very little comfort to him, for all that has been done is done and cannot be changed. I just hope that before I die, Pip shall remember me neutrally and not disparagingly. He shall be summoned the day after tomorrow, and hopefully all shall be made right.
My dear Joe, I have come upon the most objectionable news concerning the origin of my inheritance. The truth behind the identity of my benefactor has been revealed to me in the most surprising manner. Recently, on one ominous rainy night, a man came to my door and wished to speak with me. He asked me if I knew where my money came from, and he somehow knew of the lawyer, Mr. Jaggers. This man gave me a feeling that he was going to tell me where my money originated. After more talking and explanations, it was revealed to me that this man himself was my benefactor. His identity must be kept confidential, but I can tell you that we have both met this man, and he is no man to be praised. My coming to know the truth behind all my inheritance concluded in mixed thoughts and feelings flashing before my eyes. My dear Joe, I would like to share these with you now. Joe, I had these great expectations that I would respectfully become a gentleman. Now I find myself stuck because the way I became a gentleman was of no respectful manner. The money was dirty, and I never want to touch it again. This man who came to me is now of my responsibility, and if found out, I could be in great trouble. Joe, you are a great man, and I hope you accept my apology and forgive me. It is a lot to ask, but it would put one part of my mind at ease. I fear I am going to be quite busy figuring out what to do with my life now that the truth has been revealed to me. I have had a few ideas of what to do, but none can be put forth until I speak with Herbert. I hope you will be an understanding man to this event. Right now I just need someone to understand and act so accordingly. I cannot have anyone freaking out about this man and where he comes from. I am afraid to tell you the truth behind it myself. It is nothing to be proud of, but the man did give me this money in hopes that I live a better life than his own. I am very thankful for that, but it was not needed. Now I am stuck in a bad situation. Joe, I really wish you the best. Mr. Pitt.